Nick is one innovative thinker, so how he can really like think beyond of how he can really make the product and how we can really bring this crowdfunding element to the plate. You raised 2 projects, right?
Yes, back to back.
Back to back,
Back
right?
to back.
So this is a guy who you really want to really know how to really do it, like step by step. And step by step, we're not gonna show it today because tomorrow we have the crowdfunding workshop.
Come for tomorrow's workshop.
Crowdfunding workshop is pretty much you want to know how to do it, exactly how he has done it, what are the challenges, exactly what do you do it. This is what's going to do. But today he's going to talk about it, how to raise $1 million on Kickstarter. So without taking more of your time and our time,
let's do it.
Absolutely. So here you go. 1 second. I'll put up the.
Which is forward? This is forward.
This is forward. Yeah. 1 second.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Can I have a show of hands? How many people here are thinking or planning to do a crowdfunding? Wow. Well, quite a lot. In the next 3 months?
Where's his?
So this is a real topic. There's no manual, there's no guides, there's no startup. You can search online and you have a lot of tips and whatever. And here is just a summary of what I think actually works and doesn't work on Kickstarter. Specifically on Kickstarter, of course, there's Indiegogo and there's other, but today's topic, we're zooming in on Kickstarter.
Well, we're just figuring out because it was a Google Slides instead.
How many of you want to raise $1 million? Yeah, and that's I think is the beauty of Kickstarter, because later you'll see what I mean. There's a slide. Everybody's focusing on the $1 million. And it actually is a lot of good. It brought Kickstarter into the mainstream. And I will always refer back to Pebble. Now everybody by now has heard of Pebble. Because of Pebble, it brought a new category, product category. It disrupted the scene. It did something that all the big companies couldn't do, didn't want to do, said there's no market for. It changed everything, So it was a media circus. And because of the media circus, that it was able to do what it did. And from there, everybody knew Kickstarter. I didn't know Kickstarter before in 2009. I didn't know Kickstarter before 2010. By 2011, so we can see BP and AP, before Pebble and after Pebble. the world changed. The world changed. And that is a reminder of how important media is. If you want to score $1 million, all your efforts are about media, 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 and media, and media, and media. I did the two Kickstarters back to back. There's a story behind it. I didn't intentionally do it 2 back to back. I was developing Rocky. I'll introduce Rocky a little bit. A little device. That was my idea that I was going to relaunch my career. I've got 20 years behind my back doing IT and CE. I didn't want to do a product anymore. I wanted to do something that changed the world. So whatever I used to do in developing a product, I've taken a new approach to develop an ecosystem and app and everything. So from ground up, I heard about Kickstarter in 2011. 2012, I was monitoring, checking it out. And when I decided, I'm going to do a Kickstarter with this one. And then I went out reading everything I could read, talk to everybody I could talk to, and even check with advisors, could I go to VCs? Could I, assuming that I would get a seed fund or angel or something like that that will help me do the stuff necessary to get to Kickstarter. Because Kickstarter in 2009, you could just say, hey, I have an idea. But Kickstarter today, if you look at the videos, they are more commercially produced. Less the, hello, I'm Nick. Well, there still are, you know, when you go down to it, some things work and something doesn't work, but it's a lot more developed these days, and people are expecting things more immediately. So there's a blurring of lines between Amazon and Kickstarter, and I'm very glad Kickstarter put the foot down and said, we do not want to become Amazon.
Not yet.
Please do not treat us like Amazon. If you want to buy things, if you don't want to go with I mean, every time you back a project, be prepared to go along the ups and downs of the project and not expect a totally ready-made retail product. That's Amazon, that's not Kickstarter. So there was a very, very important memo. So this is one of the projects I started with in September. It ended in September. We raised $1 million for Homemade True Smart. That was actually not my own project. I was actually, just now I was explaining, I was trying to build, I was on the way to building Rocky to change the music and technology world. And I did what I walked the talk, and I walked the walk and talked the talk, so I was telling everybody about it. And a good friend, and I said, oh, you know, I have this fantastic disruptive technology that we're going to do smartwatch with independent calling and everything that nobody else is doing. I said, oh, let's join together, because later on, you'll see that why Rocky and smartwatches has something to do together. You know, it's music everywhere. It's phone. You know, you could be playing music from your watch. Okay, so that's my crash course, my entry into actual everything I thought about, my research about. Put it here. Wow, $1 million. Then that's my own project. $220,000. And you would think that I've accumulated know-how, I've accumulated. Why wasn't this $1 million? You know, so we will get to that and go on. Doesn't mean it's not. We only asked for $50,000, so it's a fantastic success, and it's $220,000, and we are still not done. One project is done, so you have to change your mindset. Which company does one funding round? True? No, so it's a continuous process. So crowdfunding, you can do your second version of the product. You can do a second product. You can do a product line. You can involve equity funding. You can involve the VCs. You know, so it's early on in the day we saw that it is a whole holistic approach. So crowdfunding, we're not done. We're going to get that $1 million and more, because to change the world, we need everybody involved, and I would invite everybody to come on board, you know. So let's start with the question, how to raise $1 million. You know, what is $1 million? There's only 61 projects on Kickstarter that raise more than $1 million. You would think that everybody, oh, Kickstarter, $1 million, you can raise a lot of funds, everybody's zoomed in on the $1 million. There's only 61 out of a total of 136,000 projects. 0.04%. Okay? Today, this is supposed to inspire everybody to get to Kickstarter, not demotivate you. It is 0.04% is way more than the chances of winning a lottery. So if you have a great idea and you want $1 million, you can go to buy a lottery ticket or start a Kickstarter project. Which are the better chances? And at the end of the day, even if you don't get to $1 million, you know, it's still, you still will have $1 million. So I don't want to give away the ending. So, but if we step back, you know, over $100,000, the chances already increased by 20 times. $100,000 is not nothing. That's where a lot of startups start. VCs. I started up looking for $100,000 or so, you know. So, and when I went to Kickstarter, I mean, I raised the project. My funding goal is $50,000. Why 100? I was looking for 100,000, and now 50,000. That's crowdsourcing that took away. I don't need $100,000 anymore. I could do it for 50. That's crowdsourcing. And we look at another statistics. Here's the upside of things, you know. In total, Kickstarter has raised $1 billion. for 59,000 projects. 59,000 projects. Okay, you can see also the chances are there, you know, that you have, that's almost, well, that's a almost half chance of succeeding your goal on Kickstarter. Great chances. So that sets the scene that you have a good idea, you do it right, your chances are there. I think the other half, sometimes you read, those people didn't even do their homework. You know, so you really have to cut away all those, you know. I would say the chances of, if you did your homework, the chances of people backing you is really great. And if in the end you did your homework and you still didn't successfully complete your Kickstarter, then you really, really need to rethink your product or your idea. That there is no market for it or something. Something is wrong. So back again, how to raise $1 million. Don't think about it. don't think about the $1 million. It's too easy to get distracted with the $1 million because, you know, it's back to the mentality. We're on crowdsourcing. People are backing you. We heard many things this week. You know, it's about people. They buy the product. It's not about branding. It's about people. So if you focus too much on the $1 million, what you're going to get is spreadsheet products. Spreadsheet products may work in the commercial world, but on Kickstarter, on crowdfunding, it's not as good as a true value product from the person, from the startup, from the entrepreneur. Now, you know this one. Don't think about pink elephant. So don't worry, you know, just forget the $1 million, but you know it's already in the back of your mind. That's all it needs to do, you know. So you know your subconscious, use the power of your subconscious. It's already helping you to drive you there. So don't waste your effort in your front brain power on the $1 million. Spend it on everything else. There's too much things to worry about. So let's reset. Don't think about the $1 million. Start from scratch. Don't think about $1 million. I'm sure you can, now in your mind, you're already picturing how much space does that $1 million stack up in my room. What? Crowd. Where do you start? Crowd. There's no crowdfunding without crowd. Build a crowd. Some of the tools we've seen today, especially in the morning, there's lots of tools. Different types of crowd require different tools. So today we're not on the how-to, we're on the what it takes. It takes a crowd. Dispersed individuals is not a crowd. You can have a big market. You can have 1,000 people. One in here, one has that interest. It's not a crowd. When they don't interact, they are dispersed individuals, and they don't interact. They don't create the crowd mentality. They don't create the crowd effect. And so what do you have to do? You actually have to gather people around. So that's one of the most important things in any crowdfunding. In any crowdsourcing is a way to gather people. You need to gather people, and you need to make people interact. So it's the action. Again, we were talking about the action, not the platform. If you have a platform of 1,000 people that doesn't interact, it's not crowd. You need to get the engagement. You need to get the interaction. And of course, needless to say, without a crowd, you don't have crowdfunding. So in the preparation stage, you start thinking about where are the crowd? Where is my crowd? You know, if you are today doing healthcare, where are the people? Are they in forums? Are they on Facebook? You see that some products, the people are, if you're doing an Android app or something in Android or very geek-based, you're likely to find a lot of developers on Google+ rather than Facebook. So that's the specific find where they are. Engage each group, you know, engage in groups. So you start building little crowds. And little crowds slowly form. You don't worry too much about bringing them together yet. So engage your little crowds, little crowds. And at the end, when you are nearing the launch of your project, put them together. Put them together. And again, I should have struck off this and put H to H, you know. Hashtag H to H, it explains everything. It's not about the business, it's not about the brand anymore, it's about people, and people. So previously, we have team, we have users, we have friends of friends, journalists, investors. So in this mindset, of course, for the purpose of using it, but in the concept, they are no longer different. They are no longer different. And again, on I think it was Tuesday, we heard about where you can't differentiate your employees from your users anymore. It's just human to human. No B2C, no press, no users, no what. The concept is just people to people, human to human. Hashtag human, H to H. So to build that crowd, just now we addressed that, always put yourself in the target-rich environment. I went to New York. I'm Singaporean. I live in Netherlands. That's where I'm. But to drive this startup, I'm all focused on how to create this impact. Netherlands and Singapore, back at that time, was not the most conducive environment. So I need to put myself in a target-rich environment. I went to New York. Virtually first. So we started gathering friends, and before I physically go there, so I was explaining, I was having a conversation with just now that it's okay, if you're a small startup, you can't afford to buy an air ticket, it's fine, you can be there virtually. Of course, it's better to be there physically, but always virtually is good. And this target-rich environment, you have to know people to know people. Anybody can tell me who I borrowed that code from? Anybody? $50. It's not Steve Jobs. It's not.
I'll match 50. You do 50.
Yeah. No, I think. Good. Come, keep it coming. I really want to make a point here too. With this, we are so used to quoting from within the industry. We are quoting Steve Jobs. We are quoting all the technologies, Einstein and Dr. Phil. We are talking about humans, aren't we?
Anyone knows Dr. Phil here?
Anybody?
Everybody knows Dr. Phil?
Anybody knows Dr. Phil? Okay, quick one on Dr. Phil. He's a TV show. He made his debut on an Oprah show talking about people, and he's a psychologist, but he's more than a psychologist. He's a family counselor. I do watch a lot of Dr. Phil. It does help. It does help. Look, it does help. Okay. Start early. Never start too late. So anything you want to do, start now. I've even seen projects that start telling about what they're going to do a year before they were even ready to launch anything. And then later they launch about a year and a half later, after they started telling people about it. Of course, I know people there are many people concerned about preventing how people stealing your idea. We'll address that afterwards. My approach on that is either the number one or the number two most asked questions when I'm concerned, or people come to me, what do I do, Okay, there we are. What if someone steals my idea? It's threat versus opportunity, So you can either hold on to the threat and just focus on the threats. Look what Microsoft did. Look what Nokia did. Look where they are. But I'm not saying the threats doesn't exist. The threats are there. The opportunities are there too. So if you need to weigh this, if you don't have a good perspective, look for somebody to help you weigh this. What are the opportunities? What are the threats? When the threats are bigger than the opportunities, then hold on to the threats. Don't grab the opportunities. Keep the ideas. But when the opportunities are greater than the threats, the thing to do is to jump on it. And especially with crowdfunding, with crowdsourcing, you'll find that with these engines, double engines behind your back, quite often you will be outrun, outjump, outsize, outscale any competitors who's not doing this. You can, and you can do it faster, you can do it cheaper. From 100,000 became 50,000. From 6 months, it became 2 months. Everything, So when competition comes, you're already there. And anytime, if you use crowdsourcing very well, and anytime you want to scale, you can scale faster than they do. plan to compete from day one. I haven't heard, I'm an ITC guy from 20 years. I have ideas. And every time you come up with an idea, somebody says, oh, so-and-so has the idea too. Or then you see somebody doing it. There's no longer such a thing as a truly unique product idea. Even you look at the patents, they are really, the patent, in my opinion, the patent system is broken. So there's no such thing as a truly unique idea anymore. It's the implementation. And that's what the VCs look for too, the investor. The smart, they knew it already. You have a great idea, it's not enough. It's the implementation. So if you already plan to compete from day one, so just go at it. If he comes, I'm ready. Be faster, be better, be cheaper. And that's something I borrowed from day one too. Everybody, that's the three. There's a lot of things why people back Kickstarter, because they want faster, better, and cheaper. Tell everyone, not everything. So you don't need to, when you say tell everyone, it doesn't mean tell them everything, face the information. I need to run through this. Apparently, I'm seeing the time is running. Taking traditional pitching, crowd, stop talking down to your users. Stop talking down to your users. Don't take the pedestal approach. Get in there, get in there. And you start with one, you start with two, and slowly, before you know it, everybody's green. That's the networking effect. Value proposition, think win-win, think we. Stop, drop the I, drop the you, drop the me. Start your sentences with we. What type of products raise $1 million? I'm going to speed through this now because I really want to get this done. Celebrity, these are the 5 hot topics. So if your product is not among these 5 topics, does that mean it's the end? No. Look at what we did. We made sure the smartwatch could play to the Rocky. Rocky is about a music device that you could plug into any stereo, and from any phone, you could stream Spotify, Deezer, everything to any stereo for $49. You can buy it on the website now. We are shipping 3 months after Kickstarter, thanks to crowdsourcing. So we try to, we said the 5 keywords: celebrity, gaming, smartwatch, 3D printer. Okay, we didn't have time to do the 3D printing part, so that was not implemented, but the idea was there, the planning was there. So you latch on, just because your product is not related, you can get yourself related by proxy. We'll zoom through, okay, and gaming, why we went out to look for gaming clans. Half of the $1 million projects are gaming projects. That's specific to Kickstarter. That's not specific to crowdfunding. That's specific to Kickstarter. Have a good product. How to get good product. I'm going to zoom through. Listen, curate. We've been through this process these few days. So many. We're all speaking the same language. Create, curate, micro product manager. The past 2 days, I was on the internet, you can be everyone. Be everything you want to be. Yesterday and the day before, I was a micro reporter, tweeting, telling people that are not here about what it is. Today, I'm a speaker. So everybody, you can see everybody on your Kickstarter as a micro product manager, and they are going to give you the best products. If you listen to them, implement them. Whatever you can't implement, just say you can filter, curate. And then you have 4,000 plus product managers on a 30-day, 24/7 meeting. That's the work. It's very tiring, filtering, managing, but the output is actually an amazing product. And so far, for both projects I have, the product that we went in with and the product we came up with, amazing improvements. Amazing. And imagine your competitors. Are they going to be able to hire 4,000 product managers? Crowdsource your product development. I mean, not product management, the ideas. We used to call this feedback. Now it's got a new, not just a new term, but a new life, a new engagement, not a linear process, but a networked process that doesn't have one entry point and one exit point. It's all chaos theory. And then the numbers time, you work through your numbers time. Okay, anybody who wants to go through this with me, by all means, contact me. I really need to skip through this. I don't want to hold everybody back for the, dinner. And this slide I saw from yesterday, the crowdsourcing week. Very similar slide. We're everywhere, crowd, because we're all fundamentally in our DNA, we have crowdsourced in our blood. Media exposure, I talked about. This is definitely, any online media exposure, you have 1.5 days effect. So we spent all our time on media, and media. Okay, before I was planning, during the Kickstarter, you will notice the day you don't have media, it drops, you know. So this is typically, a lot of people who are first time on a Kickstarter, they're going to freak out on the third, fourth day. All the build-up press, the build-up everything, done. No more press reports. You go to the press, and they say, oh, but that was old news. So nobody wants to write about it. And when nobody writes about it, you see it dies. But this is the OMID TrueSmart. We managed to keep at it, and you will be able to see the difference in the graph. This is also the Rocky graph, you know. That's the Pebble. You know, good story, but you see, at some point, the press did die off too. At the end, even such a mega project, the press still finally did die off. Neil Young, celebrity effect, and $400 iPod that doesn't play MP3. It's a very small market, but because of celebrity effect, he's able to pick up the small numbers everywhere because the media picked up Neil Young comes with a music player on crowdfunding, on Kickstarter. So again, you see, even with celebrity effect, media dies off. Managed to hit millions, and then when it tails off, we can see, well, it's like a fraction. It's really a fraction. And remember I said 3D printing was hot? This one latch on the 3D printer, but it's not surviving, you know. Well, it will hit its target. Forget the trending. This is KickTrack. Everybody can go on KickTrack and look at these figures. It's asked for $100,000, but it doesn't have the big impact that everybody's thinking of. It prints food using 3D printing technique. But you can see the campaign is, the press is not picking up anymore, and then you're flat. You're flatlined. So media. The left was OMID TrueSmart. The right was Rocky. For TrueSmart, we had a team of about 3 people generating about 200 press reports in 30 days. No press agency will be able to do that for you. But that's thanks to the smartwatch effect, you know. So I know that with Rocky, we don't have that smartwatch effect. We did our best to latch ourselves onto all these key hot topics. So I knew I had to scale up the press team. So we crowdsourced a press team of about 20 people. Crowdsource your PR. And we got we got 100 reports over 25 days. Not as much as OMID, but enough for us to drive our funding 4 times what we asked for. And you saw the curve. We managed to sustain higher than the other graphs, even Neil Young's graphs. No, so that's the media effect. You really need to drive your media. Borrow, buy, beg. The 3 Bs of media. Social media traction, that's the other thing. If media is ignoring you, that's the number 3 question I get. I pitch to the media. They don't reply to me. From PR, if PR professionals here, you know what to do, but start entrepreneurs, like, you know, CEOs trying to call, they don't reply. I send email, nobody replies. You know, so that, you just go at it. There's a numbers game, but there's another avenue. Go to the social media. You know, actually, press wants to write about successful things. They are not there to amplify your message. They are there to bring stories, the audience are their primary concern. So if you are able to do a proof of concept using social media, that people want this thing, people who have social media traction and everything, it's not something that you write to them about. They see it. Remember H2H? They are not press, they are not users. They are there too, you know. In both OMID and Rocky's project, there were press people in there. There were competitors in the backers. There are press. There are competitors. You can see Samsung bought so many smartwatch. They're all there. It's all human to human. No, so take that, do your social media. You can actually get some press who say, oh yeah, actually, I really need to write about this. So there is remember, there's no linear effect anymore. It's all a network. No single point of entry, no single point of exit. So the bus vortex, okay, they're supposed to be out of alignment. So you treat them again using the same ideas that what we did, mini crowds. So everybody is a human. Everybody is this human to human. So we now have two mini crowds, the users and the press. The users are going to get excited, like what you saw in the crowd. You try to get one, the power of one, you get one excited, then you get another one. No, so you just talk to everybody. Just now when we said, okay, so doing Kickstarters, planning, that's already slowly you're doing your conversion process. So people get people excited. That's the crowd effect. So that's why dispersed individuals do nothing. You need to interact and they get each other excited. Eventually, your mini crowd users will have a spill-off effect on the press mini crowd, and they start feeding each other. They start feeding each other. Start feeding each other, and this is the effect you want. Then there's buzz, and actually the buzz would even create even more buzz. It's not very easy to do, but do it. There's no such thing. You don't lose anything. And at one of the last things is, in the end, make it fun. So crowdfunding should be a fun thing. Treat it like entertainment. My ideal one, my dream one that I haven't managed to do resources, I should crowdsource a bigger team. I would like to run a crowdfunding campaign like a real reality show. Like a soap series with soap series elements, your villains, your heroes, your daily things, your likable people, your dislikable people. Everybody will tune in, and you generate the buzz. You get the media involved. Everybody gets excited. Comes back in and see, oh, what happened today? Oh, new product release. Oh, this idea was bad, or something like that. So to start scripting it, not like a script, not like a linear script, but like a chaos script. So that anything could happen. Like a reality show is partially scripted, but not totally planned. Did I finish myself?
It looks like.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right, great. Thank you, Nick. Really appreciate it. This was really good, insightful.
All right. Yeah. There you go.
Awesome.